Welcome to 2 Minutes of Tech. This is episode 9. In this episode, we're going to be completing part 3 of our Frogger game using ScratchJr. We'll be adding a left and a right arrow key to move our frog. We'll also be creating water that appears and disappears. And finally, we'll be making a red frog that you can tap on when you reach the top of the screen. Right, we're going to add our arrow keys next. So we're going to go to where we add our characters. Click on the little plus button here. We're going to draw a right and a left arrow, similar to the ones that I've done before. We'll show you how to draw them. So we're going to use the rectangle tool, and we're going to make a longish rectangle. It doesn't really matter what color we do. We can use the fill color. We're going to get a triangle next. We're going to draw a triangle for the head of the arrow. We'll use the bucket over here, the bucket fill tool, to fill the color in. As I said before, it doesn't matter what color we use. Now we're going to use this tool here that is used for rotation. We're going to click on the object and move it into the correct position. Once we've got it in position, we're going to use this pointer tool here to move the triangle onto the rectangle to make it into an arrow. And then we're going to name that up the top here. We're going to call this right arrow. And we'll click the tick up here to put it into our game. Now, I have made that green, so we're actually going to have to change that color so it is more visible, because when we click on here, it's going to disappear. So color does matter. Let's click on here and we'll go back, choose a color that's going to stand out behind the green. So I'm thinking maybe black. Okay, let's try that. All right, that's better. Now let's make a left arrow. Click on over here to put another character in. This time we're just going to click the same arrow, but we're going to click on the paintbrush up here to edit that arrow. And we're going to move the triangle to the side, and then we'll rotate it to point that direction. It looks like we're going to have to move it a little bit further over. It's about where we want it, and we'll change this one to left arrow by retyping it up the top here. Left arrow. And click on the tick at the top right hand corner to bring that onto your screen here. Now we need to code those objects to move the frog. So we've got a special way of doing that. We're going to use, under the event blocks here, the yellow blocks, we can use the start on tap block again, which we've used before. And this time we're going to use these blocks here. We send a message and then the frog will receive the message. So let's see how this works. So it says send orange start message. So on tap, it's going to send a message out to all the characters, but our frog, so we go up to our frog up here again, is the one that's going to receive the message. And the code's already there, so we'll pull it down again. This is the block for, it says start on orange message. So that what it means is it's going to start the code. It's going to start activating once it receives an orange message. So let's see, what is it going to do? We're going to get it to hop to the right-hand side. Let's see how that works. By clicking on the arrow rather, we can move the frog one hop or one movement to the right. Let's see if we can do the opposite with the left arrow. Do the same thing. We're going to take the start on tap block, but this time, instead of sending the orange envelope, we're going to send a red envelope. And our frog, when it receives the red one, is going to hop in the opposite direction. So let's grab a... You'll notice that the envelope color is orange, so we're going to change this to a different color by clicking this little arrow at the bottom here. We're going to choose the red color. It's the next one in order. And when the red color is received, we're going to get the frog to go to the left direction. So let's see how that works. So we've got now left and right movement. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in some blue squares or rectangles up the top here on the brown part, which are really in the game of Frogger are mimicking the water, but I couldn't figure out how to get the log to flow on the water, so we're going to have the water appearing on the log, which is sort of in reverse, but this is the best way around creating that aspect of the game. So to do this, it's quite simple. We're going to click on add another character here. We're going to make one of these blue squares. We've got to judge the right size. We're going to take the triangle tool over here on the left, and we're going to choose a blue color, closest to water we can find. And we're going to create let's try one of these. You can see these little squares inside there, and the bigger squares are like a 2x2 square that I've chosen here. We're going to paste that in. Let's see if that is going to be about the right size for what we want. I'm going to click the tick here and just, we can name it water before we do that. Call this water 1. It's going to be the first square. Click on that. Now we can bring it up to here, and you'll see it's a little bit small. We really want it covering that whole area. So what I'm going to do is come back into here. I'm going to click the arrow key, and I'm going to move this out. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. It could be easier just to redraw it. In that case, you can select it and just click the or delete key, or use your scissors to chop it out. And we could just grab another one. This time we'll do a 3x3 to see what that looks like. And the 3x3 is better, but we're probably a little bit oversized, so we're going to try and we'll reduce that a little bit. I think we'll bring it down to here and here. Let's try that. Bring that in a little bit that way. That looks good. All right, it could do with being slightly bigger, so let's adjust that again. I'm going to bring it up one small square this way. Okay, that looks pretty good. Move it that way a little bit. That looks pretty good. Now we've made water 1, we're going to make a series of water blocks that go all the way along. So to do that, we're going to click on the plus sign again. We'll choose the first water block here, and we will edit that. We'll call this water 2. On the tick, and then we'll bring it up and we'll put it next to that water block. And we will do the same thing until we've got enough water blocks going all the way along, and then we're going to have to build a code for those water blocks. You'll notice that this water block is slightly short of the curb, so for water 6 block we're going to change it, and we're going to make it a little bit longer so it covers the area that we need it to cover. That should do it. Now we have all our water blocks, we're going to make a code so that they appear and disappear at different times. What will happen when the frog hits those water blocks, the frog will get sent back to the start. I'll just demonstrate how that will work. If the water block is hiding, then the frog will go through it. So I'll show you how that works. So I'm going to go on click, on green flag rather. I am going to hide block 1. Then I'm going to use, so there was a hide and a show block. I need the show block as well. And I'm going to need a forever repeating loop. And I then need some timing in between. So to get that, we go to these control blocks here. And there's a timer block. And 10 equals 1 second. So I'm going to make that, to make it 50. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go to water block 2, make a code for that. The important thing with the water block 2 is that the timings are different. So we might start water block 2 with a hide and a show. We need a forever block, and we just need to get the timings different. We still need our start flag. We might start with, I think we will start with the water block 2, the same as water block 1 in terms of it being hidden, but we might change the times on that. So we might have a shorter or a longer time on water block 2. So let's start with it hidden, make the timer, we'll make this actually 60, and then we're going to show, and we'll make this one 40. Let's see. And let's go through and do the same for all of the different blocks, just different timings. We can preview it each time just to see what it's going to look like. And you'll see one will appear before the other. So let's go through and do that for the other blocks. That's what that looks like. You will need to experiment with the water blocks in terms of their position and their sizing to make the game more playable. You can use the adjust. If you look at my one at the moment, the blocks don't line up with the frog. If I go straight ahead, so it's always going to bump into that block. That's all we have time for today. Episode 9 has gone on for a little bit longer than I anticipated. In the final episode of this project, episode 10, we will add the sound and the little red frog that we're going to use for scoring. So until the next episode, ka kite anō, take care.